Hello and welcome to a tour of my minimalist bedroom. This is actually the door to my bedroom. You see, most people have very large doors to enter rooms, but this is actually very wasteful. The human body can compress into a very small size, so having a door like this is actually much more efficient and streamlined. Follow me. This here is my minimalist bedroom. You may notice that the ceiling, the walls, and the floor are all unpainted. This is actually the original way the room came, and I decided that keeping them unpainted would be the best way to keep it as minimalist as possible in here. You may also notice that there's not a bed in this room. That's actually because I don't need a bed. I can just sleep on the ground. Having a bed would be a huge waste of space and would ruin a lot of my productivity. This floor is actually very comfortable. I sleep on it every night, and it's actually very relaxing once you get used to it. You may also notice that there's not any furniture in this room. That's because as a minimalist, I'm content with just sitting on the floor as is. It's very comfortable, and I have lots of space to stretch. What more could I want in here? Another thing you may notice in this room is the absence of any sort of bathroom. That's because as a minimalist, I decided to get rid of all plumbing inside my house. Instead, I just used this handy dandy bottle right here. It works perfectly. As a minimalist, I also believe in sustainability and having multiple purposes for every item in the room. That's why this handy dandy bottle here also serves as my supply of drinking water whenever I get thirsty. Being a minimalist is actually not that hard. My journey to discover minimalism has actually been one of the most exciting and thrilling things in my life. It all started when I got evicted from my home and had nowhere to live. I eventually found this room actually. The people over there don't actually know that I'm living here. That's okay. As a minimalist, I have a very small footprint and don't make a lot of noise, and I will go unnoticed for a long amount of time. I think minimalism has really changed my life for the better. You see, I get a lot more looks on the street, and I also get a lot of people asking about my smell. It's actually a lot more natural now that I've done away with all sort of showering and hygiene. I think minimalism has actually made me much more productive in my life. Now that I don't have to waste any time on hygiene or showering or cleaning, all that time I can use for being more productive and getting the work I need to do done. I feel like being a minimalist has also made me a much more introspective person. I can now focus on things for an hour at a time since I have no outside distractions. For example, last night I spent 4 hours just staring at this rusty nail right here because I had nothing better to do. Now, what did I take away from this experience? Obviously nothing. Just the fact that I was able to dedicate so much time to something so trivial and meaningless speaks bounds about how much more efficient your life can be as a minimalist. Living a minimalist lifestyle is also extremely cost effective. I have to spend zero money on utilities, zero money on rent, zero money on practically everything. In fact, I have a lot of these loops in place where I don't need to even ever buy anything new. I can just keep on reusing and recycling. For example, when I get thirsty, all I need to do is drink. Then I just have to wait a few hours and my supply of water will be replenished. It's an infinite cycle, very minimalist, very cost effective. My journey through minimalism is actually far from over. I think there's a lot more parts of minimalism that I can incorporate into my life before I become a true minimalist. In the coming weeks, I'm planning on getting rid of clothes. That's a big waste of time, having to carry this around with me. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of my minimalist room, and be sure to hit like and subscribe for future life tutorials on how to be a minimalist. Thank you.